Divine powers activated, your passion and purpose. It's the big redo you've been waiting for. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's Alyssa Rushton here with your September 2024 energy update. And I couldn't be more thrilled about the energy that's coming for you, light leader, here in September. By the way, if you're new here to this channel, pop by and say hello because this channel is all about energy of readings and monthly updates for light leaders, light workers, sensitives, intuitives, and incredible awakened ones like you. So I'm not reading for the collective, although I sprinkle a little bit of collective upgrades and energy that's coming through, but mostly this channel is dedicated to you who are on that ascension journey. You're on that awakening path. So definitely pop a comment below, say hello. Let me celebrate you for being here. And if you always come by for these energy updates, pop me a comment and let me know that you're here so I can celebrate you too. And thank you for being a part of this growing community. Now, as ever, before we dive in, go ahead and tune in to the numbers between 1 and 5. While all of these energies you'll be working with this month, the number that you choose right now is the number that you'll most be working with this month. It'll be that frequency that's really getting pulled through for you. All of the energies will be present, but this one will be dominant, so to speak. So let's tune in together right now and grab that number. Which number or numbers resonate the most with you, and pop them below because I love to see what's present for you. I mean, I love it when you guys share what's up for you. It's my candy because I don't need candy. And so that's my treat when I get to see what's happening for you. So let's talk about this first energy this month. It's big redo energy. So, and in fact, as I'm saying this, it's just such a huge feeling that comes through. I can barely contain myself with this. So let me position this in space and time for you. Think back to the years 2015, 16, and 17. I want you to think back in something that you were wanting to achieve, wanting to accomplish, wanting to have for yourself. Likely what happened then is that you went after these things, or you set about going after it, and really nothing worked out the way you had planned. And in fact, what you ended up doing during those years is a ton of healing. And even though you were trying to work towards this soul goal, there was just so much internal blockage in the way that it really couldn't come forward for you in the way that you had always envisioned for yourself or had hoped for yourself. So what's amazing about the month of September, and it started to activate even in August, but you're going to really start to feel this in September. And what's incredible is that this energy also is here to work with you on a 3-year cycle. So I want you to think between now, 2024, 2025, 2026, and 2027. However you count your years, because you guys who know me real well know that I don't I don't count maybe how we normally should count, but it's going to be working with you for about 3 to 3.5 years. And this big redo energy is catapulting you to circle back around to many of those themes that you were going for during that time, but didn't have the healing within yourself to actually get there. And I wrote down a quote because I really love this quote so much. So hang on with me 1 second while I find it. So let me read you this quote. There's an old adage that says, what's meant for you can never miss you. It's only true if you're being you. Your blessings are sent to the address of your true self, not the watered down, playing it safe version of you. Wow, right? And so the thing of it is that old you in 2015, 16, 17, who was healing through and growing through all of these things. And likely, by the way, you needed 2018, 19, 20 to really see what those things were. And then over the last 2020, 2021, 22, and 23, you've been digging in and doing incredible trauma healing work and all of the DNA clearing work that I often talk about. You've been doing that. So now you're more of a clear, the youiest you that you've ever been. And so those things that are destined for you, so to speak, are here for you as a light leader to bring through finally. Now, this might be a business, it might be a career, it might be a relationship, it might be something else entirely. It might be finally the finances are here to support you. Whatever it is, you're getting this humongous redo. And this redo theme transcends into many other themes that we're going to talk about this month. But it is massive. It is big. It's palpable. I can feel how big this is in your energy systems. So something that I love to do that really helps me stay in the me that I can be, the most aligned version of me, is every day I wake up and one of the questions I ask myself, because our life's informed by our questions, is I ask myself, how can I be in the most aligned version of my highest self today? Show me what frequency that is. Show me what actions I'm doing. And if there's ever a question, for me, the question is, can I get to the beach? Or do I do this work project? Sometimes the most aligned version of me when I'm in my highest levels of service and giving is doing the work project. And sometimes it's going to the beach. So just tuning in and asking that question, what is the highest version of myself want me to do in this moment? And how can I show up as the highest, most healthiest, expanded version of me? You'll get the answers, you'll get the downloads. So this is energy number one. I couldn't be more thrilled for you who are working with this frequency. It feels like big time expansion. And I really want you to remember that this frequency is going to be happening for you for the next 3 or so years. So now's the time to start riding the wave of this. And if you didn't take the years between 2020 and 2023 to really dig in and heal those shadowy bits, then now's the time to double down on that effort and commit to doing so. And there's a great book that I want to recommend for those of you who are committed to doing the work. I think you'll love this book. It's a little toothsome, but it's one of the most transformational books that you can find on this topic, and really helps you sort out all those shadow pieces and helps you heal at such a core level. It's called Trauma and the Soul by Donald, I'm going to butcher this last name, Kalshed. So Trauma and the Soul by Donald Kalshed. And it is incredible. And it really helps you understand how trauma sort of fractionates or fragments the soul, and then how we then need to experience our soul and ourselves from all these different angles so that we can recollect ourselves and heal. So this is an incredible book. I highly recommend that you check it out. So if you haven't, if you're feeling like this energy is for you, but you haven't fully done the healing work, or you're still kind of in the soup of it, check out this book, Trauma and the Soul. I think it'll really be of service to you. Okay, let's talk about energy number 2, health and truth. So it's Virgo season, and it is the month of my birthday. Yes, I was born on 9/11, if you can believe it. And so, which is such a fun activation code. And so if you can think about this Virgo season, but also in towards the fall, as bringing up themes of health and truth. And so for you, you might be really working on your health, and you might be looking at ways that you can improve your health and that you can take steps to get your physical body more healthy. On the collective level, we'll also be seeing a lot of themes around health. And along those lines, a lot of themes around what's true for us now. Back in the COVID times, There was a lot of stuff that we didn't actually know at the time. Was it true? Was it not true? And now we have more data and more historical evidence to see what really served us and what didn't. We also want to remember what's true for you might not be true for somebody else. And that's such an important thing to remember during these times. I can foresee another pandemic happening, possibly. And I can already see a lot of I'm calling it the monkey stuff, the monkey stuff already getting filtered around. And one of the things that we're noticing is that the way our collective consciousness works is there has to be an initial buy-in from the collective. And so one of the ways that that's done is through the media, and the message is sort of bandied about and scattered it about. And if enough people are viewing that and clicking on that and offering it their frequency and their energy, then it starts to infuse more and more and more and more and more and more. One of the things that we're learning as humans, and we're remembering our divine self and our divine powers. Remember, I talked about the truth. So the truth is coming online, and that more and more people are learning that they have these beautiful divine powers, and you're very powerful over your health. I was actually watching a long COVID recovery video, because you guys may or may not know that I had long COVID. I never expected to get it. And then I got it, and it spit me back into a whole world of healing, the likes of which I haven't seen since 2005, when I had my near-death experience. And so I was watching this video, and the woman was talking about really what got her out of the process of having long COVID was her mindset, and how she didn't really ever understand how strong that was. And so one of the things that we want to remember is that our minds and our energy systems are so powerful. You have these divine superpowers when you understand that you're working with the field of possibilities at all times, and that you can actually command and create that which you want through your focus, your energy, and your attention and your frequency. You know, I see this all the time. For example, I'll be swimming in the ocean and I'll see a turtle, and I'll think, I'd love to have that turtle just come and swim by me and say hello. And I literally will just think that thought, and I'll flash the turtle some pictures of swimming by and me being so grateful and thankful just to get a closer view and sending so much love. And I'll literally watch the turtle take a course that he wasn't going to take, he or she wasn't going to take, and swim directly towards me and come by and say hello. And we have to remember that we're affecting everything around us all the time. We're coming back into that truth. And so you who are watching this video probably already hold this. And so looking this month at themes of health and truth, and looking at it individually and asking, where are the places where I could have more clarity and truth around what's healthy for me now? I always come back to this question: what's healthy for you now? Because guess what? You are an ever changing being. In fact, think back to how many bodies you've had just in this lifetime. What was healthy for you when you were an infant is no longer healthy for you now. What was healthy for you when you were 2 is no longer healthy for you now. And what was healthy for you even 2 years ago likely is no longer healthy for you now. So this is a wonderful time to really get clear on what is the next evolution of the healthiest, truthiest version of you. And then when it comes to the collective and some of the events and sequences that you're going to see come through and play out over the next few months, which I tend to think will be in some cases a lot, in some cases lighter. And that's something else I'm going to touch on here in a minute, the lighterness of it. Really tuning in and asking, well, what's true for me at this time? Okay, I see what's going on here, but what's true for me? And how do I need to operate in this time? And when you are coming back into your sovereign self, That's where your power lies. Remembering that you have your own reality bubble, really, and that you don't necessarily have to intake everybody else's realities around you. That literally, when you pass on from this world, all you'll take is your own reality. You don't take your neighbor Joe's reality. You don't even take your partner's reality with you. All you take with you is yours. So it's a beautiful time to hop into extra truth and extra health so that you can be more fortified as the months go on. This is also a great time to just make sure your body's feeling really strong. Now, if you're somebody who's going still through a health crisis, and many of you still are, I myself just got out of an almost 2-year long COVID health crisis, and it took everything in me to overcome it. What I want to say to you is your body's meant to heal. You are here to learn to heal yourself. You can do it. And so don't give up hope. Keep going, keep working all the things that you are there to work. And I want to share with you a little mini process that I teach inside of our Divine Light Energy Healers Academy. And this is where you hold a staff meeting with your cells. So every morning, you're going to go outside in the early morning before the sunrise. And if you're not a morning person, guess what? I wasn't either. And I knew intuitively that this was a process for me to heal my cells and heal my body. So it was worth it to me. And I said, I'm only going to do it for a week. And if I can do it for a week, then that's great. I'll just see what happens. Well, I did it for a week and I felt so much better that now I can't live without this practice. So you go outside early morning before the sunrise and you watch the sun come up as much as you can, because in some locations you're not able to. And in fact, I was just recently in Santa Fe where I wasn't able to watch the sun come up. But you go outside and you take in the early morning blue light, which is activating for your DNA. It turns on healing and repair processes throughout the day and helps your body get into this beautiful, healthy rhythm of creating a lot of melatonin, because you create your melatonin in the morning, not at night. So you're creating a healthy sleep cycle for yourself. And then you call in every little thing in your body, all the cells, all the particles, all the bacteria, all the viruses, and you just close down your eyes and you flood your body with rainbow light, and you ask that everybody work towards your highest good and the highest good of your body. And you basically have a staff meeting, so to speak. And this practice has been so incredibly powerful for me personally, just to ask everything in my body with my consciousness to say, hey, how can we work together for the highest, healthiest outcomes of this body? Are you guys willing, you guys being the cells, the viruses, the bacteria, because we have all of that living inside of us all the time. Are you guys willing to help me out and work towards the highest good of this body? And just really infusing the body with that rainbow light. And if you could see it coming in through your eyes in the morning, great. And if you close down your eyes, you can just pretend. But this is a powerful practice that you can do to really transform your body and give it that extra healing that you might need at this time. Energy number 3 is revolutionary. It is also visionary thinking. So you might be getting activated with some real visionary insights, some ways that you don't know how to implement yet, but things that you could do to change your environment, the community, the planet. Real revolutionary and evolutionary energies are coming online on the collective scale, especially in America. I think you might see some revolutionary energies. And just remember that during times of revolution, there is evolution, and that we are, as a collective, being triggered to evolve and to stop doing certain things in particular ways that really don't serve us. I see there is some possibilities for industries like big business, insurance, and government to get a real reboot, so to speak. So it'll be curious to see how that all goes down, because as you know, We are in timelines that are in really big flux. And so your daily frequency that you're holding actually contributes to the timelines that are coming through. And like I mentioned earlier, whether they will be easier or tougher. So the more you can focus your energy on that which you want to create, the better off we all will be. Any sort of awfulizing about revolution or awfulizing around what might happen is only going to give that more fuel for the fire. So, as much as you can, set your sights on being a visionary instead of a revolutionary. You know, the revolutionary I tend to think of as that warring, clashing energy versus a visionary energy, which is creative and transformative, but without the clashes. So if you can be looking at the future and seeing what would I love to see for the planet? What would I love to bring in? Get your friends involved. This weekend, I sat down with a friend and we just talked about what we would love to see for this area. And we both said, we have no idea how to do it, but this is what we both feel and sense and see. And the practice is to believe that it can come through and align with that version of reality, because we have to remember there are all the versions of reality happening and all at once. There's a great meditation from Dr. Joe Dispenza called the Changing Boxes Walking Meditation. And it's literally where he takes you out of the box of your reality and he helps you create and align with a different dimension of the you that already exists without the challenges, without the problems, without the nonsense. By the way, I love everything that Dr. Joe does. So I highly recommend the Changing Boxes Walking Meditation. And you can check that out. I'll pop a link below it here too. So you can go check into that. But ultimately, the more you focus on the dimension of you that is without the challenges, the dimension of you that is living in alignment, the dimensions of you that is that evolutionary visionary thinker that is living in the vision, the more you bring and pull up the physicality of our reality to that other dimension. And that's part of this big process. And it's hard for the mind to wrap itself around that. It's hard for the mind to go, wait a second, I'm here in a body. How can I get to there? But the more we do align with that which we want to have, the more we change. And I personally know when I went from 240 pounds using a walker to get around, this is the process that I used. I literally used the process of seeing myself in a different dimension, doing what I'm doing now. So I know firsthand that this process works. Let's talk about energy number 4, heart expansion and full circle moments. So this is such a yummy energy, and it's sort of on the heels of our energy number 1 about the big redos, only it's bigger. For many of you, you have had this core wound having to do with family, and now you're coming back around and you've done so much healing work on yourself to unwind yourself from the trauma and the DNA stored memories embedded in you. And you've done enough healing and clearing that you're now able to experience, especially your family, on a different level. And this month, you're going to be having these incredible full circle moments. And I'm seeing a vision of a woman, and she's meeting with her family, and her heart just bursts wide open because for the first time ever, her family sees her in her true light. But it's not because they haven't always. She's finally got enough of the walls and the filters down that she can receive in their love. And this knowing that we have our own reality bubbles that creates itself from our DNA. Our DNA are this projector that comes outward. And so she's shifted herself enough to where her family now is being mirrored to her in a different way. And it's just so incredible to watch. I'm just watching this beautiful overflow of love. And so don't be surprised if this month you have this full circle moment that feels like it takes you back to someplace between the ages of 5 to 12 years old, where you really come back around and you get to re-experience yourself with your family, or it might be another loved one, from a place that completely is like that wound never existed. It's like it never was there. So be on the lookout for this. I feel very excited about this for many of you who are going to be experiencing this heart expansion. Along these lines, you might also be getting some activation in terms of relationship communications, where you are being invited to communicate more truthfully, more honestly, more openly, in a way that's not triggered, in a way that's grounded and stable, in a way that is, what I would call emotionally mature communication. And you'll be getting some opportunities to do that this month and beyond, because one of the things that's happening on planet Earth is our hearts are opening so much that we're not going to be able to maintain the same types of communication that were formed in defensiveness and argument and I'm right and you're wrong. You'll really approach your discussions from a place of, I'm here with my side of things, and I'd really love to see your side of things. And can you share with me how something's occurring for you? And I'll share with you how it's occurring for me. And how can we work together in order to move our relationship up and forward and be even more intimate and have even more closeness? So, this is just a really lovely, gentle, yummy energy. And on the flip side of that, you might also see some clashes with the collective this next few months, where people aren't yet in that process and where they aren't yet having their hearts open. And what a difference it can make to communicate with somebody who has a fully open heart versus somebody who's got all their guards up and hasn't yet done this healing work. We want to remember that those people who haven't yet done the healing work, it is okay. They're on their journey, then they're on their own divine timing. And so it's really important for us to honor their journey. I always go back to my own experience here to say, if you would have looked at me in 2005, you would have said, that's a woman who's never going to wake up. She's never going to heal. She's going to die that way. I guarantee you would have said that. And so would have I. And to count our fellow human beings out, I think is the biggest mistake, because we don't know what could be their awakening catalyst. And we don't even know if we could be the one to be a stand of what that light and love looks like for them. And so when they go through that really hard time, that there you are on the other side of things, a beacon of light waiting there for them, not to do the work for them, but to be an embodied example of what it means to be a healed, whole individual. So a very exciting time indeed. For you, though, who are watching this video, my sense is that you've really done so much work in healing yourself that you just get to step up and be that beautiful example, which leads me to our last energy today, energy number 5, which is your divine powers activated. We have had so much light flooding the planet that there's now a critical mass of you who has had your divine powers activated, and maybe you don't yet know how to use them all. Maybe you're still sort of in the process of turning them on, but they've been activated. Right? So it's like when your iPhone gets activated, you don't maybe know how to use all the apps and all the programs yet, but it's on, it's active. And so that's the process that millions of people are in now. Their divine superpowers have been activated, and now you're learning how to turn them on. You're really learning how to work with the fabric of our reality. You're learning how to utilize your instantaneous healing gifts. You're learning how to work with the vast amounts of information and galactic information that are pouring through the planet at this time. And the secret key to working with this energy is really getting some support. If you don't already have a support network of somebody who can help you turn on and activate those gifts and witness you in activating those gifts, and somebody to have these conversations with, because I talked to students in the Divine Light Energy Healers Academy, and they all felt so lonely, and they all felt like they were the only one on planet Earth who was having this happen to them. And then to come into a community of people that all have these gifts that are in various stages of turning on and being magnified has been so profound. And so one of the things that you want to do is find a community, find some books. I was just talking to a woman the other day who lives here in Hawaii, and she said, I'm so drawn to here, I don't know why. And I said, have you ever read any books on Lemuria? And she said, no, what is that? I don't even know what it is, but I instantly want to dive in. And so getting to work with some mentors or some people in your world that can turn you on to other sources of information that can start to activate that sequence in your DNA, those divine powers. Because listen, when you came into this planet, you were a divine being of light. And you got programmed to believe that you were ordinary. You got programmed to believe that you couldn't work with a field of possibilities. You got programmed to believe that you were not a multidimensional being of light, that you were not having all of these other forms of energies and other time streams and dimensional planes. And that's a huge issue, because if you're trying to heal something and it's been intractable and it's not healing for you, you actually have to go and call in all of your soul's energy from all of the time and space and reality and dimensions and heal it across all lifetimes. That is why when people are just working on healing the physical body in the now time, it's why it doesn't take. It's why it keeps cropping up. It's because there's these other fractal aspects of your soul that have this unhealed energy running. And so when you learn how to work with all parts of your soul and claim back in your multidimensional gifts, your skills, your talents as a being of light from other planets, other star systems, and you do the healing work and you do the empowerment work of bringing in both sides of that, then your body truly heals and the magic really happens. So this is a wonderful time to be guided to some books, some learning. This is a wonderful time to be thinking about working with a mentor. By the way, our doors for the Divine Light Energy Healers Academy Fall Cohort 2024 are almost open here at the end of September, so you can still get on the waiting list. I'll pop a link below this video if you feel called to do that work. It's a wonderful way to activate yourself. And some of the people that join the academy actually are not intending on becoming a healer per se. They just want to do it for themselves. So whatever you'd like to do it for, it's a beautiful supportive structure so that you can fully turn on all of your galactic, multidimensional divine gifts of intuition and clairsentience and knowing and manifesting and all of the yummy stuff that we are here to do. Now, I also want you to remember that as more and more people get activated with these frequencies, they will also need more ports in the storm. If you can think back to about 2010, remember when nutrition and health wasn't really a thing? And then all of a sudden in 2010, it really started to amplify, and all of these health coaches and functional nutritionists and all these people started coming forward. And then it really, people realized, oh, I need something different than what I'm doing. And so they flooded to these alternative practitioners, and thank goodness they were there for them. And now we're there at the same moment when all of these people are coming forward, the everyday folks who are being activated psychically with their divine DNA coming online, whether they like it or not. And they need that port in the storm. They need someone who's a little further on the path, who's got a little more of their gifts turned on to help them. So now is a beautiful time to ride the wave, because over the course of the next 2 years, you will see so many people come online and start to wake up and recognize, oh my gosh, there's so much more here than I had ever possibly imagined. So, a couple of tips and takeaways before we go. This month is a great chance to turn up the dial on your health and really ask yourself what's going to support you now? What health routines will support you now? Where does your health need the dial turned up? Where might you do even more instantaneous healing? Where might you run more of that frequency? It's a frequency that I love to run. And I just simply say to the universe, just now run to me the frequency of instantaneous healing. Run that through my body. And just see if you can get your soul to turn up the dial on what that feels like, where there's nothing to heal. So it's the frequency of instantaneous health. Just running, overflowing through your body, flooding through every single one of your cells. And if you're in a place where you're feeling sick enough where you can't really even feel the frequency, ask your guides and angels to take over. Call in those beautiful Syrian healing beings of light to wrap you up in this rainbow, and just ask them to hold you in this space of instantaneous health, even if you can't feel it. It's a powerful practice, and I highly recommend it. Some other tips and takeaways for this month are asking yourself, how can you come into more of the truth of who you truly are? Sit down and think about, what does the truth of you really look like when you are operating with all cylinders firing and with your full soul guiding every single action? What does that look like? What are you doing? Are you writing that book? Are you speaking? Are you healing? What are you opening a retreat center? Are you building something new? Are you working on a new technology? Are you doing something completely different that I haven't mentioned? Sit down, think about, what does you operating at your full soul's power look like and feel like in your system? And then your work is to align with that daily. Daily tune in and ask your soul, show me what actions I can take to align with that vision today. Show me what frequency I can run through my body to align with that, and let your soul just run the frequency. This time is all about being embodied in the work. And being embodied simply means, are you able to do the energetic practices, the physical practices, even when it's hard, even when you're busy? Are you able to take it out of your head theoretically and run it through your body? An example of a non-embodied person would be somebody, let's say a doctor, who talks about being healthy, but they're really overweight and they're very unhealthy. They have a lot of theoretical knowledge, but they're not embodied in it. Versus somebody who has a lot of theoretical knowledge about being healthy and does all the things so that their body can be really, truly healthy. That's the biggest key, is embodiment. We must work in this lifetime to embody being a healthy, heart-opened, divine human being. And we're being given lots of opportunities to practice that. And really, for me, at the end of the day, the secret key is, can you be in the frequency of love, health, and forgiveness, even when you're busy, even when you don't have time, even when somebody's behaving badly, even when there's a global situation happening? Can you be in the frequency of love, of peace, of abundance, of joy, of health, even when? And can you hold your fellow human beings in a frequency of light, even when they might be behaving badly? That is the work of this time, and it's what we're here to usher in. I want to thank you for being here, and I'd love to know, what is the thing that you really feel like you're being here for at this time? What do you feel like you just know your soul put you here on this planet at this time? Because gosh, this is not the easiest time frame, let's just say. But I'd love to hear from you. So pop your comments below and let me know, why do you think you're here? And if you like this video, I would really love it if you could give it a like and hit that subscribe bell so that you'll get notifications of when we put out future videos. I am so grateful that you are here on this planet at this time. Your presence means the world to this entire planet. Your frequency, your being here matters. So thank you for showing up. I love you so much. Until next time, bye for now.